Welcome to the first edition of the Independent Wrestling Page podcast. One of the most requested ideas for our page. I think it's a good progression of the page to make, moving into the podcast kind of realm, and hopefully you'll enjoy it and listen around. Just like to apologise for any noise. I live in Yorkshire, right on a dual carriageway, so I apologise for any noise there, but it shouldn't hopefully distract you too much. Just to run you through the script of what we look to do in these podcasts. We have three sections to this podcast. First section will be on European wrestling, so various news topics during the week in the British, German, Italian wrestling scene that I keep up to date with. Then move into the Japanese wrestling section, and then later into the Americas, North America and Mexico. So hopefully we're covering all bases there, kind of get you a kind of feel for all the major wrestling scenes on the planet. Another major thing I want to make sure I kind of keep to is the length of video and length of podcast. Podcasts will be under 20 minutes every week. Hope that's long enough for kind of myself to give you my thoughts, and for yourself to kind of vent your own opinions, if it be in the comment section on this video on YouTube, or in the comment section on the Facebook page. Please feedback to me, let me know if this is a good idea. If you enjoy these podcasts, I'll hopefully continue them. Be released every Sunday evening, British time, so about just after midday for you guys in the USA, and obviously a bit later if you're kind of east of the UK. But I hope you enjoy the podcast idea. I think it's a good progression for the page. Lots of great stuff to come up to today. Looking at Progress, PCW, looking at New Japan's World Tag League, a bit of Sami Callihan return. So lots to look forward to. Hopefully you'll stick around for my thoughts on this. And please leave your comments, give a like to the video, let me know if you like the concept. So let's get right on with the show. Progress Chapter 23. What a time to be alive. Happened last Sunday. Lucky enough to attend this show in the Camden Ballroom, London, England. It's another very good show by Progress. I'm going to have a mini review almost of this and run through my thoughts on the show. Holy shit moment of the night has to go to Walter and Rampage Brown. The ring broke in front of our eyes. I think they did two pre-show matches taping for TV, and the ring did look a bit unstable when the guys were around the ropes in the early minutes of the match. It did look completely unsafe. You saw Rampage Brown, if you watch it on demand, which I highly recommend you purchase. He looks a bit inquisitively at the ropes throughout the video, which I kind of laughed at, but pretty cool moment. And the guys worked so well around that as well to make it into a good match. So hats off to them. Notable moments, Tommaso Ciampa versus Marty Scurll was very good. Fantastic match. Ciampa's really upped his game, I think, in the last year. I think ever since he kind of went to the WWE and had his shot in NXT, he kind of feels he got a point to prove to the rest of the locker room that yes, he deserves this position. Because to be perfectly honest, like when he started working for NXT, there's a lot of people saying there's a lot of guys I put ahead of Ciampa, especially if it be the Ring of Honor roster and the European roster, kind of the North American independents in general. So, Tommaso Ciampa has a point to prove, and his latest match for Progress have been very good. Match with Haskins was very good, and this match with Scurll was very good. And tomorrow, well, I'm taping this Saturday night, so tomorrow I'm heading to Manchester, the Ritz Ballroom. Ciampa, Sabre Jr., cannot wait for that. Sabre Jr. is a fucking man, so he's a beast, so I cannot wait for that match. Hopefully Ciampa brings his working books. Will Ospreay, Mark Andrews, main event. It's just fantastic. This is really great. I could have started the match. Like, I worry sometimes when you're doing a high-flying base match and one opponent starts working over the legs of another high flyer, which always doesn't work for me just because a high flyer uses his legs. And usually what is the case in perhaps lesser wrestlers is that they work in the leg and they just do random flips, and it's just like, well, that whole first 5 minutes of the match was just completely pointless. But these guys work really well here. They did go for the leg early on, but it kind of worked through the story, and Ospreay, especially when he hit his bigger offense at the end, definitely looked at that leg, tweaked it, and Mark Andrews certainly capitalised on that. Fantastic match though, really great. I give it 4 stars in my Meltzer, because no fights listed, a lot of people says I like it. It's just for me to kind of compare ratings. I think that's quite useful for me anyway, especially when I watch a lot of wrestling. Other notable performances on this show: Mark Haskins, Paul Robinson, fantastic, overachieved, I think. Paul Robinson is great, and Haskins is like so good. Haskins is Bubblegum tomorrow, which I'm very excited for. Also, Flash Morgan Webster, Zach Gibson was very good. Zach Gibson is really improving. He's very good. Worked the arm of Webster so well here. Webster's obviously great too. So I cannot wait for the three-way Gibson, Webster, Ospreay tomorrow. But this show was fantastic as usual. So consistent, great fun, easy watch. Progress On Demand's the place to be. Link below in the description. Please go and support Progress and purchase this. PCW Ring of Honor weekend. Obviously I attended the first 3 shows of the 4 that went to Progress on the Sunday. Great weekend, great fun. PCW is great fun. Just so much fun, really enjoy it. And this is the main match of the weekend. Dave Mastiff, Adam Cole, the rematch from last year's fantastic match. This time it was a 30-minute Iron Man match, which I'm not a huge fan of Iron Man matches because I kind of feel it's a bit predictable. You kind of expect, right, something pretty close going down the stretch, and then, for example, one guy will get the pinfall and we're really close, might go into overtime. So a wee bit defeats the purpose of the match. I'd much rather have a 30-minute match, which kind of creates a suspense more. But this was a pretty weirdly done match. It was good. It wasn't great, per se. Adam Cole went 2-0 up on Mastiff. The heel getting 2-0 up in the face. And then, obviously, we rallied behind Mastiff. That was fine. And I got to kind of 2-all. Then I got to 3-2 to Mastiff with 10 minutes to go. And I was getting a bit like, how is this going to work now? Because obviously the whole point is to have the face fighting back as much as he can. And Cole got the late pinfall. And that kind of went quite flat because he lost the heel and it didn't really work because the crowd was so behind Mastiff the whole match. I didn't really like that as much, really. That being said, the match was really good. Like, the work was fantastic. Cole's is so good. But that did affect the match for me. I think it prevented taking it to the next level. A bit disappointing. It wasn't as good as the match last year. But still very good. 2 more fantastic matches in the show that kind of overachieved what I thought would be the match of the weekend. I thought this was going to be the match of the weekend. But War Machine versus Red Dragon. Oh, that was fantastic. Oh, that was very good. Kyle O'Reilly is very, very good. And so is Hansen. He works so well for a big man. This match was great. Noam Dar, Drew Galloway, also superb match. Really great stuff. It was a really fun 6-man match with like Dalton Castle and Cedric Alexander in it. Lionheart, Roderick Strong was also very good. This match, Mastiff Cole, probably in the middle of the card, to be perfectly honest. But overall, highly enjoyed the show. It was great fun. The night 4, the show 3, which is the main show. Other notable matches across the weekend: Noam Dar, Jay Lethal, fantastic stuff. That was night 1, main event. Oh, that was great. And we also had Doug Williams, Jay Lethal, which was again fantastic stuff. What were the matches? Dave Mastiff versus Roderick Strong in night 1 was also great. Just also great matches. Good match after good match. It's what you want to see. El Ligero, Adam Cole, Bubblegum 3-way to open up the weekend. That was also great stuff. But PCW and Ring of Honor work well together. I worry with PCW sometimes is they can go to comedy and not so much wrestling. But this weekend was definitely more centered in the wrestling. Dalton Castle, one of the funniest wrestlers to watch live. He's just a great laugh. Overall, definitely purchase these shows. I know Flutter's gone off for on £34 for all 4 shows. Can't go wrong with that. You get a t-shirt as well. So I'd go around to PCW, link below, and take advantage of that deal. Right, moving on to Japan. New Japan World Tag League. Been watching a little bit of the Tag League. It's quite a lot to watch. Like, I had a really big summer of New Japan with obviously G1 doing like 19 shows, and that was quite endurance factor. I know I had a lot of problems with G1 this year. Like, put it this way, the amount of good matches there were this year were as much as previous year, probably more, to be honest. But the shows just felt flat. Just felt flat. The first half of the shows felt flat. And you could have, if you have 10 matches on the show, 5 of them were kind of pointless tag team matches. You had some of the weaker matches on the G1, like Fale versus, like, I don't know, Toriano. Toriano's hilarious, but the match is never going to be that great, to be perfectly honest. And then you had maybe the 2 great matches at the end of the show, which is great. I'd happily sit through that to watch 2 good matches, but it was a bit of a drag. And I'd much prefer just having a stat card of wrestling, having a super card like G1, 23, 24, 24, that was last year. That was an amazing tournament. Every show, like day 78 were just like 2 of the best shows I've ever seen. So it's like great match after great match. and it's less days for the guys to work. I think working 19 days in the trot, even if you're not working singles matches, is pretty tough on the body, especially in the New Japan style. But just to go back to the tag league, the matches in the tag league I've really enjoyed so far. Tanahashi, Elgin, they work well together. That's overachieved what I kind of anticipated they'd kind of achieve working together. They've been great. Goto Shibata, obviously, absolute man. They had a great match with Ishii and Nakamura. That was just something. But yeah, Okada and Tanahashi, really liked that. I think it was Yoshihashi and Okada against Elgin and Tanahashi. Okada and Tanahashi just work so well. It amazes me how they face each other so often in the New Japan ring that they can still achieve the same chemistry and kind of uniqueness to matches that make me want to watch the match more. If WWE did a match, and this is probably true, like 4 or 5 times, then you get a bit making the 4 of the same style, especially those like Cena matches. That's my problem with the Cena Owens feud. The matches are quite similar every time. But Tanahashi Okada matches, they're so different. They're just different kind of style of match, and they feed off the other matches so well they've had with each other. And it's just fantastic stuff. Wrestle Kingdom 10 is just shaping up fantastically. Just a quick mention of that before we move on to Americas. Nakamura Styles is going to be like the dream match I've wanted to see for years. Can't wait. Okada Tanahashi are going to have another classic. It's going to be 5 stars again. Probably going to be pretty damn close. It's going to be a great match regardless. 4-way junior tag match. I've moaned about that on the page. I don't like the idea of the same junior match being put in this position of the card. I'd much rather have this one-on-one junior tag team match, give them 15 minutes, have a fantastic match. We kind of know what we're going to expect here. Nonetheless, I assume a very good match, but obviously not going to hit the level that I'd hope it would hit. And then again, Omega versus Kushida, which I'm sure is going to be superb as well. But Wrestle Kingdom 10 is going to be superb. Cannot wait for that one. World Tag League, individual matches to check out, I'm sure. Glad the Kingdom and the Addiction are enjoying themselves against the Spotlight. Bennett and Taven, I've always liked them. Can't go wrong with Kaz or Daniels. New Japan World's the place to check out if you want to see these shows. America's Sami Callihan. He's back. Here's the thing. With Sami Callihan, I kind of knew he wasn't going to fit the mold in WWE. And that, I know that's, I need to say that with a kind of a pinch of salt. Sami Callihan, when it comes to connecting with people, I think people struggle to connect with him. It took him a long time really to get really over with the PWG fans when he first joined PWG. It was only through his match with Drake. And to be perfectly honest, Drake Younger is just the ideal man to help you get over. Especially with like a crowd like PWG, when they do pop high for big spots. And Drake Younger, if you've watched his feud with Sami Callihan and PWG, which I highly recommend you do, because they're fantastic matches, he does really help get Callihan over. And on his own, I think Callihan struggled to kind of find that connection with the crowd, unlike the ones Kevin Owens and Finn Balor and even Hideo and obviously Sami Zayn. When kind of Callihan appeared in the NXT ring, even with the hardcore fans in Full Sail, the connection never was there. I don't think you can argue with that. Not everyone can be cut out to be a main star. I think they do pretty well. If you look at the guys in the company now, like Seth Rollins was the face, and he was a huge indie star. Dean Ambrose, huge indie star. Even the likes of Daniel Bryan, who'd obviously just gone by, sadly. The likes of Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Hideo Itami to an extent, and obviously Kevin Owens now. And you could even argue Cesaro. He's every week in Raw, putting on fantastic matches. Is he being underused? Obviously. Am I wanting to see him used a lot more heavily? Absolutely. Is he really knocking the door to get that main event push? There's no doubt about it. He's still there, and that's the most important thing. He's not in the company like Sami Callihan now is, or Solomon Crowe. But to move on what he's doing now, Sami Callihan returned to AAW in Chicago. Heard it's a great show. I think I had Ciampa, Phoenix, and Pentagon Jr. Hero, which I'm sure will be superb matches. I'm definitely watch that show. I get the opportunity to. But yeah, he returned, obviously. Kind of laid out Eddie Kingston, obviously. Eddie Kingston, Sami Callihan, future match. Great stuff. Can't wait for that one. And then returned to 2CW. and becoming him 2 CW champion, as you can see by the picture in front of me. Great stuff again. Obviously lots of matches that could come out of this. As I said, Callahan, Eddie Kingston, that'll be fantastic stuff, no debate. PWG, there's no debate, I reckon, about All-Star Weekend 11 in some form or capacity. I don't think he'll wrestle a match. I think he'll come back on night 2, maybe in the consequence of the main event. Prediction, it will be after the 8-man warfare. I think it's Speedball, Hero, Joey Ryan, Candice LeRae again, obviously the Bucks, Roddy Strong and Super Dragon. I'm predicting that Mount Rushmore 2.0 are going to win that match. They'll probably pin Candice LeRae, then they'll probably tease doing some ridiculous spot to Candice LeRae. Lights will go out, Callahan will then beat the shit out of them all. Lead to Roderick Strong versus Callahan, which I don't think they'll do actually. I think it'll be, I reckon Sabre's taking the belt from Roderick Strong in January. Probably end up being Callahan Super Dragon, or Callahan maybe Speedball against the Bucks, and then Callahan will go after Sabre. Callahan Sabre, that'll be fucking great. Cannot wait for that if that happens. But I'm happy to see Callahan back in the Indies, absolutely. He's a great worker, I really like him. He takes some time to like, so hope we support him when he comes back to Indies. Great stuff. Sabre Callahan, amazing prediction. That's it, guys. You survived the first podcast if you've got this far. We enjoyed it. Hope you see what we're trying to cover. Don't really want to mention WB too much throughout the video. I'll mention it in regards, kind of indirectly, to the independent wrestling news. I'm not going to directly mention it. I think that's kind of the unique niche I'm going to go for. But yeah, I'm going to Progress tomorrow. Progress Chapter 24 with Ricks Manchester. I'm very much looking forward to that show. I'll be talking about that next week's podcast. I've also got NXT Takeover Tour. I'm going to the Sheffield show on the Saturday, 12th of December. And then I'm going to NXT Takeover Live in London. And that later that week, it's Wednesday night, isn't it? But can't wait for those 3 shows I'm coming to the next week or so. Very much excited. Support independent wrestling. This is the Independent Wrestling Page Podcast, Episode 1. Give it a like on Facebook and the video. And please give me your feedback. Cheers, guys.